Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Yap, and this is another episode of our Yap with Dr. Yap. And today we have Christopher Nkambwe. Let, share with everyone a little bit about yourself, what you're currently doing right now, and the center that you've actually created. So, off to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Yap, and thank you for inviting me to Yap with you. And my name is Christopher Nkambwe. I'm a trans woman activist. I'm a newcomer. I'm a refugee claimant. And at the same time, I am the executive director of the African Center for Refugees in Ontario, Canada, which is a fully registered charity organization that supports vulnerable LGBTQ refugees and other people from across the African continent with humanitarian assistance from the time they enter the country until we work with them to integrate them into the Canadian set. And I am the winner of the Stennett and Ferrero Award. I'm the 15th winner. And this award is given to LGBTQ people who create the visibility and the understanding of the LGBTQ community in the Greater Toronto areas. And as I well sit on the advisory committee of the Ontario Council for Agencies Serving Immigrants, OCASI, under the Positive Spaces Initiative. And as well, I'm the winner of the Marie Lapouse Youth Leadership Award. And this award is bestowed to young people who create the visibility again locally, internationally, regional, LGBTQ community. So I'm glad to be here and I hope to coordinate this conversation. Thank you so much.
That's great. Thank you, Christopher. So I know you probably told this story a couple of times already, but for our audience who may be getting to know you for the first time, maybe tell us a little bit about your work and experience when you started in Uganda and then on your way to Toronto.
All right. In Uganda, first and foremost, I should give you a brief about LGBTQ lives back home in Uganda. The life in Uganda, it is not welcoming for LGBTQ people. Our lives are always at stake because of the colonial rules that were imposed on the African continent for these homosexual rules. So these rules do not favor us culturally, economically, religiously. So our lives are at stake. So our lives being at stake, we don't need to sit behind or lag behind, watch other people or our fellow LGBTQ people dying off, So we created a movement, LGBTQ movement, and we continue to really, really serve the movement. And I'm an activist, and back home I was the executive director of Royal Raise Initiative Uganda, which is a trans organization that works with gender non-conforming people, male sex workers, female sex workers, and other groups of people. And again, I was a peer coordinator at Most at Risk Populations Initiative, Mulago, which is a health facility that gives health services to LGBTQ people and also other marginalized people. Then also I used to volunteer with the different LGBTQ organizations, coordinating different VCT outreaches to reach out to people in different communities with free services. Thank you.
Now, with the circumstances what occurred in Uganda that made you realize it was time to leave and it was time to go to a different country?
Yeah, like I said that I was a volunteer coordinator supporting different organizations. And one time I was working with a health facility to coordinate an outreach to serve our community with free services, distributing condoms, distributing lubricants for safer sex practices, free medical services like testing for HIV, testing for hepatitis. So that day, it wasn't good for me as an individual because as we were carrying on with our activity, police raided and I was arrested and I was accused of promoting homosexuality and recruiting young people. So for the police didn't know that I was just giving a free services to the community, but they thought that I was promoting homosexuality because people there, we had trans people, we had lesbians there who had come in for our services. So people around the community were wondering, these are men, they're behaving like women, these such sorts of issues. So they raised concern, and out of the blue, police barged in, and it wasn't good for us. So by that time, I was arrested, and luckily enough, I got a chance to escape. And by the time I escaped, I was unwanted for promoting homosexuality, like I said. And good enough, I had gotten a visa to come to Canada to attend the Women Deliver conference. So that is how I saved my life through coming to Canada.
And maybe share with us a little bit about your experience on your first couple of weeks in Canada. So you're here, you were at the conference, and then what happened?
I arrived on the 1st of June 2019, and I began my journey as a refugee in Ontario, Toronto. And life wasn't good at all because I didn't have anything. I don't have family here. I didn't know anyone here. So I was by myself. To be precise, this country is far from Uganda, where I come from. And the technology here, the buildings here, this is totally different. And imagine someone coming from Uganda, come to Vancouver, attend the conference. As you come back, you say, no, I'm not going back to be killed. So the experiences are starting over. First and foremost, I had nowhere to sleep. I had no anything to do with, or you go and search on such and such a place to find out where you can sleep. But I asked a taxi driver to really find for me a shelter where I can go to start my new life. And I reached somewhere at 109, which we call an intake center. And I failed to get a shelter where I could sleep. And I ended up sleeping at, to save my life, not going back. And also finding lawyers to help me navigate the system, filling these immigration forms, finding organizations that really support newcomers was totally different. Like no one was here to direct me. I was by myself, So life wasn't good during the first couple of months.
Right. And was that now the trigger that got you to say, you know what, I'll open my own center? Is that how that came about?
Like I said, I was an activist, and I'm still an activist right now. And I wondered how many people, how many newcomers come in and have to go through what I went through. These are the similar challenges that newcomers face. So when I looked into that, I had passion for activism. So I said I should not sit on my passion. I should come out and support my fellow newcomers by starting an entity, the African Center for Refugees in Ontario, Canada, which I registered at 4 months after arrival in Canada. And I would like to thank the government entities that they had not segregated me that, you are a newcomer. You are trying to build an entity here, but they were so very much supportive to really help me out and register an entity, going to these different ministries. You are 4 months, you are working with the brown paper, which we call our identification. You are a refugee, you don't have permanent residence, but you convince these people that, you know what, this is really what I want. And I thank God, and I was able to register this entity, which is now serving refugees and newcomers. And so far we have reached over 600 people. We are supporting them with different services. And what made us lag behind, it is the COVID-19 pandemic, because we didn't have space to really, really meet our people. But before COVID-19, we had already met, and we had introduced the organization to the rest of the community.
That's amazing. So what are the services at your center? So if you have a refugee, what would they expect?
Yeah, we do offer services like a newcomer settlement programs. When these newcomers come in, like I said, we integrate them, we support them fill these application forms. We support them by finding them in the nearby shelters where they can stay, So we also do other referrals for them, like finding health facilities, the walk-in clinics that can really, really support. Then we do have volunteer engagement programs where we do look out for other organizations that really, really need the support. And we go there for give free services to the organizations. That is why we are creating the visibility of our organization, just that people to see us that we exist and we are working. Then we also carry out career guidance workshops. These career guidance workshops are made of people learning computer skills. In Uganda, I'm speaking on behalf of myself. We come here when our technology is not so good, but Canada is a fast-moving country in regards to technology. So people come in when they are computer illiterate. So we support them with those skills to help them fill their own applications forms as we guide them on what to do. Then we also do referrals for other entities. We are good that we have partnered with other organizations that are bigger than us. By the way, we are 2 years. We are making 2 years in October. And we are working with big entities that have been here for so long, the 519, the neighborhood groups. So we do referrals to those organizations that really, really have the support that we really, really don't have. And we also do volunteer orientations. And we have already oriented 35 of them. Last year, we oriented 35 volunteers. We had a peer educators training with them, like volunteers, and we managed to teach them how we can really, really work together, and also help them, help us, and as we help them to preach the gospel about the organization as other people come in to take the services that we really, really offer. Of our interest, but right now we are working from homes, Yeah. At times I work from outside my house because we don't have office space, Right. But we are reaching out to different donors, like the United Ways. We are speaking to them to see that at least they get us office space, and we stop working from outside. Yeah, we have evidence. I am working filling application forms for newcomers from outside my house, giving out support letters to people who are going for their hearings across the road, But these services, remember, they are free of charge, but we need an address where these people can really, really find us and get services.
Right. So, for example, you have sufficient funding. What would your hopes be for the center? How would you want it to look like 5 years from now, for example?
All right. To be honest with you, about the funding bit of it, for these 2 years, I've been funding my organization using the $15 salary that I earn as a cleaner somewhere. So I really, really need to see the African Center for Refugees grow into a very big entity, as we look forward to supporting more and more individuals to really, really come to get these free services that we really offer. And also to partner with other organizations. And I thank God that we have been able to partner with, again, some big organizations to really, really support newcomers.
That is amazing. Maybe what you can share would be your wisdom to individuals who are in the LGBTQA plus community, and what would you hope for them to consider when they are working with other individuals in environments that have a lot of newcomers, for example?
For those people who want to really work with the environment of newcomers, I request them to really work with the agencies that are really working to support newcomers. That is where they will be getting concrete information from real life experiences. Like if somebody comes out and he or she wants to work with me, they should be rest assured that they will be getting first-class information because they will be speaking to somebody who is speaking out of experience.
Thank you so much for your
You're
time
very
in doing
welcome.
this.